Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Today we are back in Throne of Liberty and this is gonna be the video I was talking about last week where I'm gonna show you the build I have for farming in dungeons with the Gladiator class. And yeah, let's just get started. So first of all, I swapped to a spear this time because using the black anvil spear will be just a waste since it does not give you any stats at all. So I recommend going for a heroic spear with the actual black anvil passive, and that will grant you all the bonuses of the black anvil spear but with some massive stat bonuses. I also quite like the new Greatsword, the Butchering Blade of the Abyss, because of the passive that just grants you 120 more species damage, and this lasts for 6 seconds and applies to all your party members. And that's great because we do love buffing our allies, which will in turn buff ourselves. The gear itself, it's gonna be the same, so same armor, same cape, same everything. They just are good as they are. I would love to actually try the new veiled set, but it is really expensive to get the gloves, so it's not really that big of a deal if you don't have it. The Blood Hunter is good enough. The base stats are actually not too bad, and I would actually recommend to get Wisdom instead of Fortitude on your spear, because it's just a better stat. And I mean, you still want to reach 50 Fortitude, but you can sacrifice some Perception. Honestly, it doesn't really matter because we just have to deal with very low HP pools. The most you usually see is around like 1,000,000, so it's not that big of a deal. And if you group enough enemies, you're just gonna delete everything in a bunch of skill casts. And talking about skills, this is the ones I am using, and the big combo is, as usual, you want to use your Explosive Fury and then spam your Javelins. Everything else is just buffs and some survivability, and that's pretty much it. I also have Devastating Smash because it's just a great way to control a lot of enemies at once. As for the passives, these are the ones I have, and it's just a bunch of attack speed, more attack in form of skill damage, and just a bunch of other buffs in general, plus, of course, our Victor's Morale, because this is probably the best passive you can get on this class. Moving to the specializations, these are the ones I went for. You can easily just skip Blood Leech Aura with both of these, but it's just such a nice thing to pop and completely fill you up whenever you need it. I mostly use it for that, but you can just use another skill for damage if you don't care about surviving too much. And I don't have a lot of points into the Greatsword skills because I'm only using a few of them. And yeah, Willbreaker doesn't really need one since it is completely different than reducing defense now. We just gain the 120 more species damage boost. Now for the Masteries, these are the ones I have. They are very similar to the ones I had before. I just now have 200 points instead of 190, and the same goes for the Greatsword. It's very similar, just I added 10 more points somewhere. I might have forgotten where exactly. As for the overall mastery skills, it is the same I usually use every day. The most important ones being, of course, Potential and Dragon Ascent. As for your artifacts, it is the same as usual, just get any melee stats you can. Those are the best you can go for, and the sets are going to be, once again, the Chaos Arbinger, and I just really like the Ancestral Armor because of the passive and the bonus 5000 health I can just pop whenever I need, because sometimes you just take too much damage and that will actually save your life. Alright, now in terms of damage, this build is actually quite powerful, and this is actually the real strength of Spear and Greatsword. It is just the combined effects of both that are actually completely insane in any AoE scenarios. I'm gonna remove my Celerite because we don't need that. And the rotation is very subjective. You can just do pretty much whatever you like, but as usual, just pop your buffs first, like your Unyielding Sentinel, your Blood Leech Aura if you need it. You can also cast your Willbreaker, which will now, once again, give you 120 more species damage boost. And then you usually want to start with stunning the enemies, then Frost Cleaving Aura or your Phoenix Barrage is also quite nice. Remember to also use your Precision Dash if you do not have your Devastating Smash, because this will also grant you more heavy attack chance. And then we just spam, once again, our Explosive Fury and our Javelin as much as we can. We can use our Flaming Arc whenever in the rotation, not that big of a deal, does just a little bit more damage, and you usually end the rotation with your Slaughtering Slash, which will trigger all the hit and blast them whatever we have on the enemies and deal a nice explosion damage. So let me just pop my buffs. There we go. Stun the enemies. I mean, let's imagine we are stunning the enemies. We are not really. And we do this, we do that. This is how you deal damage with the build. And I mean, the rotation feels quite comfortable. You don't really have big cooldowns because of the way that the javelins work. And I mean, in general, you're dealing a sustained amount of damage to all enemies that are nearby. And yeah, I mean, it's just a really, really good build. And it works in any kind of scenario. I can just... Let's go to Crimson real quick. And so I can show you a little bit right there. Okay, we are here in Crimson. I'm actually now gonna use my Slatterite because I have way too many. It will be very similar, it's only like a 10% damage different, not that big of a deal. Most importantly, we are gonna survive quite easily even against all these enemies because of the way the build works. And I mean, yeah, we might get stunned here and there, but once again, we have many ways to heal ourselves, so usually not that big of a deal. You may die. This is like not immortal build or anything. You may still die once in a while, but like most of the time you are just very comfortably sitting at above 30,000 HP and deleting everything in your path. Let's move on to another place with some more enemies. This is just like showcasing the build. I'm not even really focusing. I don't have any food buffs other than the one for more Solant. So yeah, this is a very like bone dry build, not even in a team or anything. It can get so much better in a team, obviously. Like, if you can, of course, get more buffs, this just becomes completely insanely powerful, broken even. And yeah, just chilling. Once again, max HP most of the time. Yeah, just very solid, very consistent, and you really need to face something difficult to die, or just get chain stun locked, because that can also happen, and it is very, very sad when it happens. And yeah, that is pretty much everything there's to the build. I could suggest you like also try some other Greatswords if you don't have this one. Pretty much any other Greatsword will work, but this is just a nice boost. Instead of having Willbreaker that does nothing, you actually gain some more species damage boost because it has a very small radius without this change of a skill. And sadly, this is also gonna be my last Throne of Liberty video for a while because there isn't much I wanna really grind in the game for. I mostly have everything. I could max my gloves. I could try and get some other pieces of armor and whatever, but it just really isn't worth my time because wasting more time on this class doesn't feel worth it, since it's not competitive at all, unless for like PvP, I guess, but I don't really play that. So yeah, I've had my fun for now. I have over 1,000 hours in this game, so I'm gonna take a break for a while, and I hope these builds I released will help you with your Gladiator builds and your Gladiator experience in the future. So yeah, that's pretty much everything from me. I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks so much for watching, and bye-bye.